I just bought this car literally about 10 days ago. It's a C200 W204 and it's very, very different from my 124, which is a petrol. What kind of a difference is and which one I prefer, we'll discuss as we go for a drive in this new one. Perfect little spot for the sunglasses, or not. Put it in here with the rest of the world. From the word go, we're sitting in here and everything's way more modern. Logically, it's a 2007, but it's so much more sophisticated. And it's a diesel with a turbo. What I love about diesel is that you don't have to use your right foot. There's just so much torque. If you're gentle with the clutch, third, this, of all the diesels that you can get in the W204, it is the weakest version. It's got 136 horsepower. Funny enough, the same amount of horses as you get from the W124. But in here, dare I say that it is just a little bit less exciting. Why am I saying that? Well, because it's a modern turbo diesel. The old W124s didn't make use of a CAN bus system. That only came with some of the bigger V8s. You basically had individual little computers that would do a little bit of work here and a little bit of work there, but they never really worked in unison. In here, everything's connected. Everything works together. You have the feeling that if something specific is going to go wrong, a lot of other things are going to go wrong. It's not like somebody forced me to buy this car, right? I did buy it, so I can't be complaining about all of this. It's nice to be driving a more modern vehicle, but nice compared to what? Definitely not compared to the W124. If I had my way, I would probably be happy to drive the W124 every single day of my life, everywhere, the whole time, always. It is just that good. W124 was the absolute highlight of Mercedes technology, engineering, safety. Things were new, things were exciting, and they didn't care about making money as much as they did about building a legacy. It was imperative for the engineers to leave their mark. If they were just going to get a lot of money, they would go home, spend it, do whatever they want, but nobody would remember them. So they put their minds together and they built a car that the world would revere and honor and love and respect for decades to come. And it wasn't this one. It was the W124. I'm feeling so guilty, as if we took this one just to take the mickey out of it and say that the W124 is so much better. But understand my perspective, that I own both of these cars now, and I can't help but compare the two, because they are the two stars in my garage. It's nimble and small, this C-Class. It really feels much more compact. I parked it in exactly the same spot as I parked the W124. It was a bit smaller, and even when I sit inside here, it feels like it's a small car. I can touch the door, I can open it at 1.83 meters tall. I fit in the back, but it's a snug affair. You feel more like a sardine than like a dolphin. And I suppose that's what makes this car out. It's compact, it's classy, it's a C-Class. We can't compare it with the W124, which is an E-Class. It was so roomy inside. It was like sitting in a living room. Here you don't have the feeling that you're sitting in a living room. But what does this car then elicit inside of us? What does it elicit inside of me? I read up about it, and it actually said that this is the kind of Mercedes that some of the younger people, or people that are interested in sort of dabbling in the young timer market, this is a Mercedes that they end up looking at. I mean, what do you have as an alternative? W203, bit of a sore spot that. W202, loved those. I thought that they were absolutely amazing, but they were terrible when it came to rust. They were absolutely horrible. I got the car about 10 days ago and immediately had to go on a business trip with it, where I drove nearly 600 kilometers, most of that being on the Autobahn. And the first drive that I had was a little bit uneventful. I was displeased with that because from a 2.14 liter turbo diesel, I expected, especially from a manual 6-speed, that there would be a bit of oomph, a little bit of boost. There should be quite a substantial amount of pull, but not really the case. Also, peak torque, which is 270 Newton meters, or 260, one of the two, is available from just over 1,600 RPMs. And so I thought, right, that's where we're going to excel, is the low RPM drive. Having all that torque available, and the car should just shunt. But it doesn't. It's very relaxed. As a matter of fact, we're at 1,600 RPMs now, and I'm going to put my foot down. See what I mean? It goes, but it's not eventful. There's no excitement in there. I think with the W124, even though it also has only 136 horsepower, and even though that's not really blowing your hair back, it's the way that it brings it about, and the fact that it's a 35-year-old car. So if a 35-year-old car performs like this, it's great. If a 2007 model, December, so almost 2008 model, a modern turbo diesel computerized Mercedes performs like this, you kind of feel like something's missing. But then I realized I was completely wrong, because this car wasn't made to be an AMG. It wasn't made to be exciting in the performance field. It was made to deliver. It was made to be practical, sensible, relaxing, comfortable, and qualitative. The quality of the build in this Mercedes might be, according to many, one of the last properly built Mercedes ever. I'm not sure about that. I know many have said that around about 2014, 2015 C-Class also came with exceptional quality. I can't be the judge of that. You guys let me know down in the comments if you have any personal experience with that. But I personally feel that this feels exceptionally solid. And we need to remember that this is a C-Class, not an E-Class. I came to realize that this car being uneventful also means that it's not stressful. There's absolutely nothing that jumps out at you and says, hey, look at me, look at what I'm doing, like a kid constantly wanting attention. It just does the job and it lets you relax. And on the way to my job, which was on the other side of Stuttgart, I had the Autobahn to just enjoy the drive. And I was kind of thinking that there should be a little bit more. But on the way back, I was really enjoying the drive, because all of a sudden, I was a little bit more tired. I had had a long week of work and I just wanted to get home. I decided to squeeze the throttle a little bit more and was able to drive confidently at 170 kilometers per hour. It was just then that I realized this car shines in a completely different way. It's not the performance in that how it presses you back into your seat, but rather how it doesn't press you at all. It lets you be and it lets you relax. You can just sit there and drive. As soon as I understood that, it feels like I kind of got this car. And since then, I look at it in a very different way. I look at it in a way like it's a helper. It's a mode of transport that is so effective in taking you from one place to another in a very soothing and comfortable and elegant way, that you know you will get there revived, relaxed, and you don't have to worry about quality shortages somewhere along the way. If you enjoy videos like this and you'd like to see more, and you haven't subscribed to my channel, would you please consider doing that? It really helps me to be found by YouTube and the algorithm, and allows me to sort of live out my creativity with cars and to share that with other people. Now that we've established what this car really is about, that it's not about the power and about the performance and about pushing you into the back of your seat, what is it like to drive? You know what's very cool is that we're actually close to Novitec because I visited the boys today. So what I'm going to do with you is take you on the stretch where I normally drive and review the supercars, because I really know that road very, very well. And without wanting to crank a diesel Mercedes too wild, let's just see how she behaves. I'm not going to exert it, but let's see how we can just flow with it. Right, here we are. We're just going to take it easy. When winter tires. I don't over rev my diesel engine because I don't think that that makes too much sense. It's definitely a bit more on the soft side. Don't want to overcook the brakes either. So we go down to the dip at the bottom, the right turn as you go downhill, brake in on the outside, roll through here. Ah. I don't think I've gone over 3,000 RPMs, and that really is the love, because we're cruising at 100 kilometers per hour. I have no idea what the C-Class weighs, but it really doesn't feel heavy at all. It feels quite nimble. Feel like Ari Vatanen at the moment. There we go, 3,000 RPMs. I'm not flooring the car, guys. This is really just to do a little cruise. And you constantly see that the needle's hovering around 100 kilometers per hour, which is the speed limit on these roads that we are driving at the moment. Another thing that I really love about this Mercedes is the brake. The brake feel is exceptional. It's so soft, yet it bites already. It's smooth. It's very, very on point. Oh, going wide on that one. This is a bit naughty. I don't think I've ever done this. Gosh, I don't even know if I'm going to show this on the video. But knowing what kind of cars and speeds I normally drive here, this is honestly behaving very, very properly. So in third gear, we can do a quick bend in third. A very, very long S-bend, 3,000 RPMs, just squeezing the throttle ever so slightly, and there we go, 100. The suspension, even for a car that's done 280,000 kilometers, is exceptional. Mercedes really just knew what they were doing when they made proper suspensions. This car doesn't feel the weight it is, and I can't imagine it being more than 1,500 kilograms. I really can't. It doesn't feel that way at all. This is the first time I'm doing something like this, and it's magically putting a little bit of a smile on my face, because I've had only practical experience with this car. Only practical experience. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to turn around. Somebody is taking their horse for a bike ride. Yeah, don't worry, I'm just going to turn around here. How are you taking a horse for a bike ride? Beautiful. One more little stretch on the way back. We'll see how the C-Class does that. And I think that's enough for this video then. I think my verdict on this is that for paying €2,500, this wasn't a bad buy. Even though I ended up paying altogether €4,600 with all the repairs and all the services and all of that. 4,600. It's a far cry away from the 2,500. But then again, whoo, did you see that? The road holding in this is wild. Beautiful. Wow. Mercedes, what did you do? What did you do? Wow. That was quite wild. Let's pull over here and just end the video. There we go. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this little excursion, unplanned and totally crazy, out here on the Novitec roads. Just happened to be here today, thought let me do the video. Yeah. Wow.